こんにちは。今日は日本に昔から伝わる雪-onnaという昔話を拙い英語ではありますが、英語で朗読させていただきます。The Snow Woman. In a village of Musashi Province, there lived two woodcutters, Mosaku and Minokichi. Mosaku was an old man, and Minokichi was a young boy of 18. One day, as Mosaku and Minokichi were on their way home, a great snowstorm overtook them. They took shelter in the ferryman's hut. Mosaku soon fell asleep, but Minokichi lay awake for a long time, listening to the awful wind. At last, in spite of the cold, he too fell asleep. The terrible snowstorm continued through the night. Minokichi was awakened by a showering of snow in his face, but the snowlight, he saw a woman in a white dress. She was bending over Mosaku. Her breath was like bright white smoke. She turned to Minokichi and bent over him, lower and lower, until her face almost touched him. He saw that she was very beautiful, but her eyes made him afraid. The woman looked at him for a few moments. Then she smiled and whispered, "I intended to treat you like the old man, but I cannot help feeling some pity for you. You are young and handsome, Minokichi. I will not hurt you now, but if you ever tell anyone about me, I will kill you." Then she turned away and walked outside into the storm. Minokichi jumped up and looked out. Strong wind was blowing the snow into the hut, and he couldn't see her anywhere. "I was dreaming," he said himself. Minokichi became very frightened. He called Mosaku, but the old man didn't answer. He put out his hand in the dark, touched Mosaku's face and found that it was ice. Mosaku was dead. By dawn the storm was over. The ferryman found Minokichi lying senseless beside the frozen body of Mosaku. Minokichi was cared for, but remained ill for a long time. He finally recovered and returned to work, but Minokichi never spoke to anyone about his vision of the woman in white on that terrible night. One evening, in the winter of the next year, Minokichi met a young woman on his way home. She was tall, slim, and very good-looking. Minokichi walked beside her, and they began to talk. She said that her name was Oyuki, and she was going to Edo to find work. Minokichi asked Oyuki to rest for a while at his house. She was shy and hesitated, but after a few moments, Oyuki agreed and went with Minokichi to his mother's house. Minokichi's mother was pleased with the beautiful young woman and prepared a warm meal for her. Minokichi and his mother asked her to put off her journey to Edo. Oyuki agreed. Time passed, and Oyuki never made her journey to Edo. She remained in the house as Minokichi's wife. Oyuki became a very good wife and had 10 children. They were all handsome and beautiful. The people of the village thought Oyuki was wonderful, most peasant woman. Age early. But Oyuki, even after having 10 children, looked as young and fresh as on the day she had first come to the village. One night, after the children had gone to sleep, Oyuki sat sewing by the light of a paper lamp. Minokichi, watching her, said, "As I see sewing, I'm reminded of a strange thing that happened when I was a boy of 18. I saw someone as beautiful and pale as you are now. Indeed, she was very like you." Without lifting her eyes from her work, Oyuki answered, "Tell me about her. Where did you see her?" Then Minokichi told her all about the terrible night. "That was the only time I saw someone as beautiful as you," he said. "Was it a dream? Or was it a snow woman?" Oyuki threw down her sewing, stood up in front of Minokichi and cried. "It was I, and I told you then that I would kill you if you ever said one word about it. I would kill you this moment, but you are the father of those sleeping children. From now on you had better take very, very good care of them." As she screamed, her voice became thinner and thinner like the crying of the wind. She melted into the bright white mist, rose up to the roof beams, and disappeared through the smoke hole. She was never seen again. 皆様ありがとうございました。こちらに URL を貼っておきます。もし私でよろしければ皆様のリクエストにお答えしてこの画面を通じて朗読させていただきます。皆様のリクエストをお待ち申し上げています。